Okay, let me get comfortable. Hello. If you're watching this, you're probably assuming, oh my God, they did it, they bought property. No. Not yet anyways. I don't know. But I wanted to make this video because my husband and I recently received our pre-approval letter, and there's a story unfolding that I want to share. If you're new to my channel, my husband and I live in Boston, and we're trying to buy property in Boston, which is its own challenge, because what's happening in the Boston area right now is you have a lot of investors coming in and buying up single family homes, duplexes, just all these properties and condos, and then turning them into Airbnbs and turning them into leases. So as first-time home buyers, it's actually been quite frustrating to try and find a property that fits what both my husband and I would like, and that isn't gonna get us, you know, beat out by an investor. Now, I don't know if you remember, a couple weeks ago, I took you on that open house tour with me at a condo in Boston. I'm gonna leave that link up here somewhere. Since then, the realtor reached out to me to let me know that a couple of the units had significant price drops. And I mean like significant. We're talking like $65,000 price drops, okay? Since the price drop, they've had another open house. I brought Josh, he saw, you know, the couple of units that we were looking at that we're interested in, and he liked them. And because of the price drop, we decided to do a little bit more research, ask some questions, because as somebody who's been in and around real estate for a really long time, my mother's a broker owner and has been for 20 years. I have, you know, family friends who are real estate lawyers. I have family friends who are mortgage lenders. My husband does real estate just on the side. I realized, wow, there's a lot to the home buying process that is just kind of innate for me, that I just like know, that other people might not be familiar with, that other people might not really understand. And so hopefully I can shed some light on that for anybody who is in the process of looking as a first-time home buyer, or if you yourself have been a first-time home buyer, if you've bought your first home, please leave in the comments any suggestions, any tips for people who might be in the process also, because your advice is just as good as mine. Getting back to the point. So there was a significant price drop in several of these units. And I think for most people, you might think, oh, well, if there's a price drop, it means they're really trying to sell it. Like, they're motivated, so that's a good thing. For me, and you know, my husband also, when there's a significant price drop like that, like 65,000, 30,000, you want to start asking questions. And so what my husband and I found out from the realtor was that this builder, the builder of the complex we're looking at, has another project they want to get started on, but the city of Boston won't let them get started on that new project until they have a certain percentage of units sold in this complex. So we put in a mortgage application, and if you're unfamiliar with that process, once you find a property that you're interested in, you essentially want to go through a mortgage lender to put in an application for a mortgage. Long story short, Josh and I received our pre-approval letter and are looking to put in an offer on this condo in Boston. It is unexpected because we have just been in the process of paying off debts, saving money, and yes, you can do those two things at the same time. And based on the price drop, I mean, we have a really solid down payment for the property, and it's just a good opportunity. You know, I don't know how other people who are first-time home buyers or have been first-time home buyers feel, but having watched the Boston market specifically, because that's where we're looking, it constantly feels like our window of opportunity to buy in the city keeps closing because of investors, and because, you know, some of these condo association fees are unbelievable. I mean, navigating that alone was like a whole thing. But yeah, anyways, we are gonna put in an offer tonight. Josh is gonna write that up, and we'll walk you guys through that and like what to expect and kind of explain what that looks like. So in the meantime, I have to like go back to work, I guess. I don't know, but I'll catch up with you guys later when we're putting in the offer. Josh is currently writing up our offer.
Terribly stressful.
terribly stressful. It's interesting because like I know what the process is and I've seen it done hundreds of times, but it doesn't compensate for what you feel going through the process yourself for the first time. You know, we're asking for a couple concessions that seem reasonable, but you know, the seller could come back and be like, no. I think what we have going for us is we have the capital, and we also know that there's multiple units for sale that have been on the market for a while. So we know they want to move them. We have the capital, but there's still just a lot that goes into this. So you have to put down, I don't think everybody knows this, but when you put in an offer to purchase, you have to put down a check as a form of good faith. The money that you write in the check is put towards your down payment, but it's essentially an act of good faith in submitting the offer.
Don't show the people the numbers at the bottom.
I didn't. No, you don't show the people the numbers at the bottom.
Yeah, that's bad.
Good morning. We submitted our offer last night, and my poor husband did not sleep a wink. I passed out because the way I see it, I'm just like, if this doesn't work out, it's not that big a deal. But now that I've submitted the offer, I'm like, F that, I want this house. And now I'm just anxious. Like, I slept fine last night, but now that I'm awake, I'm like, God damn it, where is the email? You know, offers typically you hear back within 24 hours. That's an appropriate window. And then Josh is texting me like, oh, if we get it, like, we should paint the walls this color. These pictures that we have are gonna look like so great against the wall. Don't hype me up yet. Don't hype me up yet. I've always been a cautious optimist where I fully believe that if you put the good energy out there, you're gonna get what you want. But at the same time, I'm also like, well, it could not work out. You know, like, it could just not happen. But let's talk a little bit about the home loan process and just applying for a mortgage in general. So some things that the bank is gonna look at is your debt to credit ratio, right? Your DTI. And they're also gonna look to see how much money you have saved, how much money you have in the bank, things like that. They'll also do a credit pull. So you just wanna make sure, like, before you put in a home loan application that you have like great credit. Like, I'm talking like 750 or higher, because your credit score is also going to impact your interest rate on your mortgage. And of course your income. I have had friends who have no debt but don't make enough money, and the bank won't approve them for a loan because they just don't make enough money to support a mortgage, PMI, and things like that. And there's also different types of mortgage loans. There's FHA loans, which, you know, are especially great for first-time home buyers, people who might not make so much money. There's conventional loans, there's jumbo loans. Sorry, every time my phone dings, I think it's Josh, and I'm like, is this it? No. Now, I'm sure you've heard, right, that, oh, if you're a first-time home buyer, there's so many programs to help you. There's so much money and grant money that, you know, the government will give you to help you purchase a home. A lot of those programs have income restrictions on them. I'm just saying that because if you're somebody who is thinking that, oh, I can, you know, just get some assistance because I'm a first-time home buyer, but you also make, you know, you're a high earner, you might just want to double check with the bank, with your state, to see if you actually qualify based on your income. And it's usually your gross income that they're looking at, not your net income. And I feel like I'm rambling at this point, so I'm just gonna end. I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna log on to do work, and we'll check in later. So 50% of the units have to be under agreement.
Not sold, just under agreement.
Just under agreement.
Contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna send this to both of you so that we're all on the same page.
All right. Thanks, Jackie.
All right, you're welcome, Ariana. Talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Interesting developments unfolding before my eyes. So Josh and I received a counter offer, which we're going to talk about when he gets home. And then Jackie, our lender, called me to say, hey, I just got off the phone with somebody from the condo place, whatever, because this is new construction. The building's done, but it's still considered new construction. Fannie Mae guidelines state that in order to get financing, at least 50% of the units need to be under agreement in order for us to close on the property. And right now, they only have 2 properties under agreement. Josh and I would be the third, which means we would need to wait until an additional 4 units are under agreement in order to close, which is a little unnerving, right? That's not what you want to hear, but things like this happen all the time in the home buying process. There's always, you always want to believe it's going to be smooth sailing. It's going to be, you know, exactly what you think it's going to be. And things will come up. They always will. So I'm not surprised, but where I am surprised is, let me just tell you, as soon as I hang up with Jackie, I get a text from the seller's realtor for the property, and they're like, hi, we just spoke with your lender. Their program does not allow you to close until at least 50% of the building is under agreement / occupied. I'm not sure what your relationship is to this lender, so I do not want to step on toes. We do have a lender on the building, I'm not gonna say their name, that is already pre-approved without that stipulation. If you want to jump on the phone to discuss options, I'm happy to do so. So naturally, I send this screenshot to Jackie. I'm like, look what this girl just texted me. Jackie's like, wow, audacity. I literally love her. She's like, pre-approved, probably didn't check with their lender before putting in an offer to ask if it would be an issue. Trust me, it will be in their, hey. Trust me, it will be they are all set, and then when they get the condo questionnaire back, they'll be like, oh wait. To be honest, these units are priced to sell, and Josh and I have been a little surprised that more of these units haven't been sold, aren't under agreement. Oh my God, funny enough, Jackie actually knows who the lender is for this building. That's actually not surprising to me. I mean, Jackie's the vice president of Salem 5, so I should have known. I should have known she would know. Josh and I will talk about that when he gets home, but honestly, I don't really think it's that much of a setback. I mean, we're kind of chilling right now in our home situation. If it was something where like we had to move immediately, you know, might be a little different, but we'll see. We'll chat about it. Okay, sorry I look like crap. You know what? I'm not sorry I look like crap. This is my channel. Anyways, I just got out of my Rumble boxing class, and I figured I would give you guys an update from yesterday. So where we left it at yesterday, they counter offered, told you the drama. Josh and I decided to counter offer back on a different unit in the building. So because my husband is the buyer agent, like he's representing us, he has a little bit of flexibility in his commission. So the rules around commissions in Massachusetts for real estate agents has recently changed, like within 2024. And so he was able to actually negotiate foregoing his commission on the property to take $10,000 off of the listing price, which is attractive to a seller's agent because it means they get to keep the full commission. And the way we had kind of thought about it was that our ideal scenario, they accept the offer and my husband just doesn't make any money on the deal, which is fine. Or we offer what that other unit was originally listed for and my husband takes the commission. So either way, I mean, it really wasn't a big deal, and we're just kind of actually, let me check my email now. Josh sent in that offer at around like 7 or 8 last night. We never heard back. And I've just kind of been like an anxious Nancy where I'm like, I would just want to know, like, just tell me yes or no. I hate like the in-between. Okay. Oh my God, she responded. Oh my God, here it is.